because he doesn't have a NATO in cycle to really stop our cloned units, and he just kind of failed that use. Yo, what's going on guys? In today's video we're going to be playing the best giant skeleton clone deck in Clash Royale. Alright, hopping in the first match, we're going to kind of cut directly to double elixir because I pretty much just waited out on this guy. He didn't play anything and I didn't play anything either because this deck is quite a lot better in double elixir. So he does have skelly drags here, probably going to be a lava deck, and I'm just going to go with the skeleton barrel right in front of our flying machine just to apply a bit of pressure, make sure he can't go with the lava right away, and he's going to kind of deal with that inferno dragon pretty well. He will defend well with arrows there, but I'm just going to set up my giant skeleton in the back. And by the way guys, this deck is super good even if you're like a cycle player because it's just like such an easy deck to learn. Like you just have to like spam all of your cards like furnaces and everything, and you can build like huge clone pushes. You don't really have to think about what you do with this deck, so I feel like a lot of you guys can have quite a lot of success with it. And I'm also going to go with the clone right here, kind of cloning up the giant skeleton death bomb right there, and also the skelly barrel being cloned should help out a little bit here. The giant skeleton death bomb will kind of finish off that skeleton dragon right there, and our flying machine slowly DPSing down his lava hound, so I'm going to clean it up pretty nicely right there with arrows, but his loom will still have some HP, so I'm just going to pull it back there with the furnace. And also our giant skeleton is going to get to his tower right there, so really nice for us. The really nice thing about this match is it doesn't really have any way to fully kill our flying machine without really being able to like cross the river with his skelly drags or inferno dragon. We kind of distract them nicely with stuff, so that will be a good game. Alright, so hopping in the next match, we did have a little cut as well, just because I was kind of waiting to see if he would play anything, but I'm just going to play my furnace right here. We'll play a ghost on it, and he does also go with the Balaram right here, so probably going to be like a P.E.K.K.A. or E-Barbs deck most likely, and giant skeleton will do a really good job right there, pulling back the barbarians as well from the Balaram, and the furnace will finish off the ghost pretty nicely right there. So yeah, going to be interesting to see whether he has P.E.K.K.A. or not. He does have magic archer here as well, so, and also bandit, so I think most likely it is going to be a P.E.K.K.A. deck, which could be a little bit difficult here, but the one nice thing that we do have going for us is that it doesn't really have too much splash damage to really kill our big clone pushes, and also we do kind of have like the spell bait between the flying machine and the barbarians in this deck, so if he wants to use his fireball on our flying machine, he can defend well, but then he can't really break through our barbarians, so should be quite nice here. And I think cannon cart will also get a lot of value. Going to kind of clone here on our skelly barrel. Doesn't quite click the flying machine, but still going to force out that snowball there, so not too bad for us. And I'm going to go with this furnace here just to kind of finish off the E-Wiz, and looks like he's going to snipe it there with the magic archer, but I think our cannon cart should do with it pretty okay right here. Fire spirit is going to get damage down just a little bit, so not going to connect, but just going to kind of chill out right here, just like play my cards kind of in the middle, just kind of controlling the field, not really trying to really do too much at once. And also going to go with a set of arrows here just to make sure his bandit doesn't get too near our tower, and Barbs will finish off his Balaram pretty nicely right there. So we'd also have to be careful in the future because he might try to like prediction fireball our barbarians once he realizes that we're going to use them against something, but for now we should be pretty nice here. And if he goes with like a P.E.K.K.A. in front of this, we can also go with like a giant skeleton because the death bomb does kill magic archers, and he does go with the P.E.K.K.A. right there, kind of in a weird position though, so, or not like a weird position, but our giant skeleton kind of had to be played in a weird position, so didn't really kill the magic archer there with the death bomb, but he did actually miss his fireball right there on our flying machine, so that's really good for us. And I'm going to go with the clone here as well, so yeah, just like that. I think he might actually lose right here. Don't really know how he's going to defend this. Skeletons are just like piling up like crazy, and flying machine will get a couple shots there on his tower. So just like that, we pretty much won this game. Just have to make sure we can defend pretty nicely. You're going to defend his ghost with a giant skeleton. The giant skeleton death bomb should kill his magic archer if he decides to play anything in front of it. So yeah, pretty happy with this spot. You're going to go with my flying machine kind of in the middle there just to make sure we kill his bandit, and also going to go with the clone here on our giant skeleton because it's actually really good to clone giant skeletons just because of the death bomb being cloned. Like that just gets so much value sometimes, and skelly barrel is quite nice to be cloned as well. And you can always build up super huge clone pushes, especially in triple elixir, so honestly the longer you survive with this deck the better it's probably going to be with you, or be for you. And yeah, also going to go with a set of barbs here on his Balaram plus ghost. He does actually prediction fireball it there, so that's kind of what I was worrying about, and hopefully he doesn't take our whole tower. He will get quite a bit of damage right there with his barbs, but okay, bandit does also charge on our cannon cart right there. That's actually kind of good for us, I think, because it's going to kind of stall his magic archer there, and he does also go with that snowball there on our skelly barrels, but we just need like one more set of arrows to finish off his tower, so I think we should be fine here actually. Gonna also go with the furnace here, just like kind of pulling his Balaram just to make sure he doesn't take our other tower, and he does go with the bandit here, also the fireball, but I think we can just distract his bandit with this set of barbarians, and arrows should finish him right here, so really nice win. Alright, hopping here in the next match, this guy's going to play a cannon right here, so I was considering waiting until double elixir, but just because he played his cannon, I'm just going to snipe it with my flying machine right here. Just want to see what deck he's playing. He does have tornado as well, so I assume it's probably going to be an E-Giant deck here. I'm just going to cycle my Giant Skeleton in the back, because even though it seems super aggressive, he did waste his Tornado, so he doesn't really have any good way to kill our cloned units, not having NATO in cycle, but he's going to go with the E-Giant in the back right there, so could be a little bit difficult to defend. We don't have our Furnace in cycle, but we do have Barbs ready, and we also are going to get back to our Furnace here shortly, so I think we should be fine. Yeah, looks like the Skelly Bro will connect on his tower. Baby Dragon going to have a really nice shot there, pretty much killing everything, but still defend his E-Giant pretty nicely right here. Cannon Cart will unfortunately die, but the Giant Skeleton does survive just a little bit here, so we will have to spend his Bomber, and I think the Giant Skeleton Death Bomb should probably hit the Baby Dragon right there and take down most of it. Just going to arrow it as well, just to make sure it's not too high health by the time it kind of gets towards our tower. And his Bomber will get one shot on his tower, but we're still in a little bit of an early lead at this point. And he does also go with the early Golden Knight ability, but we do already have our Giant Skeleton back in cycle, so really good defense right there. And he will go with another cannon right here, so gonna defend everything pretty well, I guess, but still pretty happy with this start, I guess, because we're not really in too bad of a spot. And honestly, I just kind of want to survive in single elixir, even though against E-Giant you can sometimes punish them early on with clone decks, but still should be fine for us to kind of wait until double elixir. And yeah, pretty uneventful right now, but we do have quite a few counters to E-Giant, so I think we should be good as the game continues, because we do have like Cannon Cart, which is pretty good against E-Giants. We do also have Barbarians and also the Furnace. We do have quite a few things, and I'm going to go with the Clone here on our Skelly Barrels and Flying Machine, just so that he can't go with like a Mirror E-Giant, because the really nice thing about Skeleton Barrels is that even though it's not like the strongest win condition ever, it does have like a really quick speed, so if they try to like go with the E-Giant in the back and you pressure with the Skeleton Barrel, they can't really Mirror E-Giant, because if they do, they're going to lose like half of their tower to your Skeleton Barrel, and it actually travels really quickly, so they don't really have any other choice. And we'll go with the Lightning right there on all of our stuff. Well, honestly, pretty fine by me. It's still going to cost him quite a lot of elixir there. His Golden Knight will dash on our tower, but I kind of purposefully played my Giant Skeleton pretty low right there, just to make sure that his Baby Dragon is going to kind of get wrecked by our tower. And I will also go with the Skelly Barrel here behind our Giant Skeleton, because he kind of wasted his cannon in a little bit of an awkward spot. And going to get a pretty nice clone there on our Giant Skeletons and Skelly Barrels. It won't really affect our Giant Skeletons right there, but it kind of allowed our Skelly Barrels to survive, so that's pretty nice for us. And also our arrows will be able to always finish off his bombers. And yeah, I think Giant Skeleton should be quite nice here. It doesn't do like the most damage ever against his E-Giants, but it does kind of just like block up the lane, so he's not really able to do too much right now. And his E-Giant might get a tiny bit of damage on our tower, but I'm gonna just eat it pretty nicely here. Gonna also have that Giant Skeleton Death Bomb kill most of the Golden Knight, so pretty fine for us. He does go with another Lightning right there, but I think our Furnace is probably going to slowly chip away at his left side tower, so it's always good to go with Furnaces in the opposite lane that your opponents are going for, just so that it can always chip away at their towers while they try to like attack you with something. So yeah, Furnace is going to do a pretty good job for us, and I think the Flying Machines should be pretty nice to kind of take out his Baby Dragons and stuff. We do have to make sure we don't give him too much lightning value at once, so yeah, going to be a little bit careful, but I will go with the Clone right here, just because he wasted his Tornado right there, but unfortunately he does have the Mirror Tornado, which is pretty good for him, but it looks like our Giant Skeleton will actually get to his tower there, so wow, that's actually really good for us. And yeah, the Clone Skeleton Barrel will get to his tower, so that will be a good game. Alright, so hopping in the next match, we're going to kind of just wait a second here, see what our opponent wants to do. We will play a set of bats right there, so just going to waste my arrows on it, and we do have Furnace here in cycle, so we can just go with the Furnace in this lane. He does have a Giant as well, so it could be like a graveyard deck, like a Giant graveyard deck, or it could also be a Sparky deck here, not really too sure, so kind of just want to wait on playing like my Barbs on his Giant. I think I'm just going to kind of chill, but now that his Giant does kind of cross the bridge, I will play them right here. Just wanted to see if he would go with like a Sparky on them right away or not, but I think he won't. So just have Minion Horde as well, so I guess it is going to be a Sparky deck right here, but for some reason he didn't go with the Sparky behind his Giant. Maybe he didn't have it in cycle right away, which is pretty nice for us right here. And he also goes with the Minion Horde, but we'd actually waste our arrows on his bats, so we're just going to have to kite it here with the Skelly Barrel, which is going to do a pretty good job right there. Gonna kind of wander towards his tower as well, so yeah, really nice Skelly Barrel there, kind of finishing off his minions, or like allowing our tower to finish off his minions. And I think the Giant Skeleton Death Bomb is going to pretty much fully kill that mini P.E.K.K.A right there, so already off to a pretty nice start right here. We do take a bit of damage, but I think we're going to be up a little bit of elixir there, because you also have to go with that Mirror Giant, so he did spend quite a lot, and I'm not really too sure what he's going to do against this Flying Machine. He might just go with like bats on it or something, but he's still going to be down a couple of elixir. And yeah, I think it could be pretty nice for us in this match, because we do have the arrows for his Minion Horde, and you can kind of like overwhelm him with our stuff. And also the Flying Machine is like really good, because he doesn't really have any way to kill it when it's on our side of the board, which is really nice for us. And somehow the Fire Spirit does connect there on his Sparky and tower, so really good Fire Spirit for us actually. And I think we can kind of just like clog up this lane here with our Giant Skeleton. Don't really know what else to do, because it's a little bit of an awkward spot, like when he plays his Sparky in the back, just like into all of our stuff. But I think our giant skeleton should wander towards his tower here if he doesn't spend something, but unfortunately the Mirror Sparky does do quite a lot of damage right there, so he's going to defend pretty well, but the cannon cart is still chipping away at his tower right here, so pretty much takes everything, and yeah, really good for us right here. Just have to see if we can actually defend this Mirror Sparky. Alright, so I'm just going to set up my furnace here and stuff. The fire spirit should kind of like splash the Sparky a little bit, and unfortunately I'm also going to have to waste my arrows here on his push because I don't really want to wait until he plays the minion horde just because of like how annoying the bats can be if we don't have the right spell for them. So unfortunately his minion horde will get quite a lot of value. They're kind of enabling his stuff to get quite a lot of damage on us, but I think we should be okay here, just barely survive. But it is nice for us that I think he has no big spell in his deck, only like arrows and zaps, so it's going to be pretty hard for him to actually finish off our tower, so we should be fine either way here. And just go with like the bridge giant mini P.E.K.K.A. So I'm just going to go with my giant skeleton here. Unfortunately one bat kind of wanders towards our tower that I kind of want to save my arrows, but the one bat right there kind of messes us up. But I think a mirror or like a clone Skelly Barrel should actually kill his minion horde. Like 2 Skelly Barrels should be enough to kill it, so a couple minions will survive right there, but going to pretty much finish it off, so really nice for us here. And just going to set up another furnace right here because he can't really afford to let go any of our fire spirits, so he kind of has to always spend something straight into it. And also a really good flying machine by us kind of hitting his Sparky right there, and he's going to actually mirror bats for some reason, but I think we should be able to deal with this giant pretty nicely here just with our barbarians. And also the fire spirit's going to kind of come out and finish it off, and we can also go with the clone here on our Skelly Barrel just to make sure that it gets some more damage. And also our clone barbarians are looking pretty threatening for him right here, so yeah, that will be a good game. Alright, hopping in the final match, we do have Furnace in our starting hand, so I'm just going to go with my Furnace first play right here. It's pretty much the only safe starting play you can make with this deck, because pretty much any other starting play is a little bit risky unless you kind of know what your opponent's probably going to be running here. So he does have Cannon Cart right there, going to kind of block up the lane, really stopping our Furnace pretty nicely for him, but I think our Cannon Cart will kill his. Unfortunately, his Cannon Cart doesn't actually cross the bridge there, so our tower's not really going to help out right there, so not the best for us, but our Cannon Cart does kind of stay alive in the cannon form, so should hopefully help out against his Golden Knight just a little bit right here. And his Magic Archer is going to come down as well, but I'm not really too worried about it because it's pretty much just going to die to our Giant Skeleton Death Bomb if he decides to protect it. And if not, I think our Giant Skeleton should take it out pretty easily, but he's going to kind of block it there with the Dark Prince. Not really going to do too much for him, so I'm going to go with the Flying Machine Skeleton Barrel push. You're also going to go with a Clone right on everything, and he will NATO it looks like, but he doesn't actually get the NATO off on our Skeleton Barrel skeletons right there, so gonna get quite a lot of chip damage, and he does actually have to spend that bar barrel still, so pretty good start for us right here, getting a pretty nice early damage lead. And I think from now I'm probably gonna start playing my furnaces a little bit lower just to like avoid potential magic archers sniping our furnaces and stuff like that, so should be quite good here to go with these lower furnaces. Just a little bit of a pro tip for you guys. And yeah, he will go with the cannon cart once again on it, so it's gonna kind of block up the lanes for quite a while. Gonna stop our furnace pretty nicely right here, but I think we have a pretty good set of barbarians that we can go on offense with against his cannon cart right here, so I'm going to do a pretty good job right there. Going to bait out the Dark Prince as well, so I think we may have to spend our giant skeleton here on his Dark Prince. Don't really want to waste the cannon cart on it because I think our cannon cart would probably pretty much fully die to his Dark Prince, so I'm going to get a bit of counter push here hopefully with his Dark Prince on our giant skeleton. And then we can go with like a flying machine here behind our giant skeleton, also a Skelly Barrel, just to make sure that we're applying good pressure at all times. Don't really want to give him the chance to just like sit back easy. We always have to make sure we're applying good pressure. And pretty good clone right there. It does kind of get wrecked by the NATO, but I think our giant skeleton death bomb should take out most of the counter push right there, so he doesn't really get anything going for himself either way. And yeah, he's probably going to defend pretty well most of the time because he does have NATO in his deck, which is pretty good against our clone pushes, but it is kind of nice for us that if we get like one big push that's like really good, we can probably win most of the game just from that. So as long as we're defending pretty well against his drills here, we should be fine. And pretty nice barbarians there in his drill. He's going to go with the magic archer on our barbarians, but I think our giant skeleton should be able to kind of body block pretty nicely right there. He does also spend the NATO there, so honestly a pretty big overcommitment there on his NATO, I think. So I can just go with the clone right here because he doesn't have a NATO in cycle to really stop our clone units, and he just kind of failed that Ewa's timing right there, so skeletons are just piling up on his tower right now, and flying machine is also going to connect right there, so he's going to NATO it back, but I think that will actually be a good game. So thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!